But when it comes to making things happen, what we really need to do is be aware of our strengths. You've often heard people say that you need to work to your strengths. Many of the things that I teach in the MBA is for those students to make sure they have no glaring weaknesses, but they capitalise on their strengths. You were born with particular strengths. The tragedy is, as I coach many people in their careers, is that many people are not working to their strengths and are in the area in which it is not their strength. Call it a fish out of water, square peg, round hole, call it what you will. And as it happens, dare I say it, in this privileged company, many of them are accountants who happen to get into the area because someone said it's a good deal, you'll make a lot of money, finance is really good, and so forth. There are also other professions as well that I certainly see. Used to be bank tellers. Used to see a lot of bank tellers who went in straight from school. But all sorts of professions certainly come to me because they are recognised at certain times they're not using their strengths. So what does that mean for us? Well, there's a certain person, the name is a bit tricky, so if you remember Chick Sent Me Hai, you'll get it pretty well right. So Mihaly has done a lot of work, over 20 years, of what it means to be what he calls in the flow. Or if you like, it's called being in the zone. If you like, it's called being in your element. There's a terrific book I've just read by Dr. Ken Robinson. In fact, it's, yes, I reviewed it on my website. So it's under book reviews on my website, if you want to know the name of the book. Dr. Ken Robinson, it's called In Your Element. Really a terrific piece of work about how we can work to our strengths. So Mihaly is really saying pretty much about being in the flow, whether or not you use in the flow or in the zone or in your element, that it gives you energy. It's something that doesn't take energy away from you, and people become more alive when they're in the zone. What is your zone? Let me say more. What are the elements of this? Well, we face a challenge that requires a skill that one possesses. Or we're completely absorbed in an activity. Or we look forward to the activity. Or we have clear goals and get good feedback on it. Or we concentrate on the task at hand that allows you to forget everything else. We lose a sense of who we are. We're just absorbed in the moment. And that sense of time transforms us during the experience. And we say, where did the time go? Where did the time go? So what does that mean for you? I had a 17-year-old in my office yesterday who's looking for some career guidance, but he said to me, you know, one of the things I love to do is tinker with a motorbike. I can't get on it yet, I can't drive it yet and cycle it yet, but I love tinkering with that motorbike and I just lose time. In the similar vein, I had a gentleman who came to see me who has hobby cars in his workshop, and he loves to be out there and time disappears for him. For someone else, it might be making a website. For me, it's actually writing. I'm glad this is not a Thursday today because tomorrow is really my writing day. All day crossed out for writing. And Thursday disappears in a twink. In a twink. I'm in the zone. I can be sitting at the desk and my wife can come in 3 hours later and she says, you haven't moved. And I went, well, it's only been half an hour. She says, you've been here 3 hours. Time goes in a twink. So what's your strength? Where are you in the zone? I had a gentleman who came to see me and we're talking about his career path. And he was a general manager and things were going well for him. But he decided that since his wife had taken over the business and he was glad of that, he would now have nothing to do. But I said to him, what do you really love to do? What's in your zone? And he said, to tell you the truth, I love to pore over spreadsheets and see whether or not a company is right for the picking and right for the takeover. He said, a mate came round, he said, should I buy this company? He came around early in the evening, we worked on it until 10. He went home, he said, I was still there at 2 a.m. I loved it. And I knew at the end of that whether or not this company was right for a business renovation. he was in his zone. What's your zone? Where are you in your element? Where does it all make sense for you? So what activities or pursuits allow you to be in the zone, and when are you in your element? Now, it may not be necessarily in the workplace.